This is literally the stupidest recording setup I have ever used. Canon Vixia HF-R80, Audio-Technica AT2020, Alienware 15 R2 Special. I mean, guys, it's a lot of stuff packed into the very, very small space between my bed and the wall that you're seeing right now. Yes, this is the How to Live Longer wall, or at least that's what I call it now. The How to Live Longer wall. There we go. Because it was the wall in How to Live Longer, which is when I changed my channel's content from stupid to actually useful.
You gotta raise your arm to make a dance for she, and if I hope like heck that you know, I'll pick like me.
Let's get on with the recording, shall we?
Okay.
We all remember first, second grade, right? Learning about carnivores, omnivores, and herbivores. Last time, I shocked and rocked your definition of carnivore, and I realized that no one uses shocked and rocked anymore, but I'm gonna go with it. If you missed that video, you can smash the II card right in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. It should be, it's right there. It's right there. You know what? I'm gonna go with my instinct because the camera flips anyways, so it's there. Today we're talking about herbivores. They're the opposite of carnivores. Herbivores are the species, the parts of life, there we go, that eat exclusively plants. Well, the thing is, they don't. And I'm gonna talk about that. But first, let's ask, why do they do that? Why only plants? Doesn't it seem like a bit of an evolutionary advantage to be able to eat anything you come across? Well, I'm your host and guy who does literally everything else, and that's actually true in this case because I don't have Timmy with me to help. I forgot my name, Vijay Hans. And I am here to educate you. School you, I guess. Let's just scroll down the script. Educate you with the superpower of knowledge. I did not prepare for this. I want to ask you something. Did you know? That's not the name of the show. I'm not sure if that was the best or worst intro I've ever recorded. But that doesn't matter because we're on from that very long 3-minute intro. Today we're talking about how Bambi could eat Thumper. It's a very depressing movie. I know I've been bringing up The Last Factorial a lot, but this is a direct sequel. You know, as if we didn't have as much, enough of those. Like, the last one was a part 2. That's like the definition of a direct sequel. Not to mention that Factorial is a series, meaning that it's sequel after sequel after sequel after sequel. And for first-time viewers know Factorial has nothing to do with math, unless, we're actually talking about factorial as, the mathematical function. In which case, I'm sorry, you've come to the wrong place. This is a science show.
Yes, science!
Anyways, today we are talking about herbivores. Last time we talked about why carnivores don't eat plants. Again, iCard, click it. Please, I'm desperate. Today we're asking pretty much the exact opposite. Why don't herbivores eat meat? First of all, let's ask, what the heck are carnivores and herbivores? I'll sprinkle in omnivores too, just so we're safe. Don't worry, I gotcha. Let's get the most basic thing out of the way. Vor is a suffix meaning eater. For example, YouTube is a moneyvore. Carni means meat. So therefore, a carnivore is a meat eater. They eat primarily or exclusively meat. That exclusively thing doesn't really go in that often. iCard, click! Herbivores are the exact opposite. Herbs are plants. So herbivores are animals that eat primarily or only plants, usually leaning towards the only side. They are the subjects of today's episode. If I haven't made that clear yet, herbivores. We're talking about herbivores. Omni means everything, you know? Like Omnitrix from Ben 10, that show that no one watched. Omnivores, of course, eat air. Yeah, just kidding. They eat anything that they can digest. Usually, this is a combination of plants and meat. Got all that? Alright. Good fam, we're lit. People still say that, right? I feel like I'm out of touch with the times. Anyways, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Why don't herbivores eat meat exactly?
Well, blimey, mate, we got a cheeky bugger here. We do. Well, pip-pop cheerio, hope a stiffy wanks your knockers. God save the queen.
Well, to get to the bottom of this question, I think we should really first ask, what lets herbivores eat plants in the first place? To answer that, let's take a look at deer. Now, I don't know what you personally think of when you think of herbivores, but I think of deer. Why? I mean, the first article I found was about deer, and I lived with deer for 3 years. I wasn't raised by them. It was just a very forested region, so there was like literally deers in my backyard. I mean, but you know, let's at least analyze them. So deer have flat molars for grinding and, you know, just mushing down them plants. You see, canine teeth won't work as the complex carbohydrate that makes up the outer cell walls of plants, cellulose, it requires repeated mashing, you know, like when you play at Kaizo level in Mario.
Got some lights.
I mean, like, the thing is, dead meat is a lot softer than plants, so it's much easier to tear into dead meat. So, deer also have a more complex gut. Many herbivores have a multi-chambered stomach, or just multiple stomachs altogether. I mean, imagine, like, a stomach ache at that point. It's like stomach ache, but times 4. Deer, in particular, have a 4-chambered stomach. You could say it's tetrabit eating. You know, because of that. Lame YouTuber, no one watches tetrabit gaming. No one knows him? Okay, that's fine. It's not that important to the question, but if you want a more in-depth explanation of 4-chambered stomachs, like this video, share it with your friends, and comment down below, #tetrabit eating. I'm desperate, share this video, please! I want monetization. First, I'd like to report something weird though. Your house is built on a gigantic herbivore that is slowly moving out to sea to eat kelp. You can get your house off that herbivore by liking and sharing this video. A like is a carrot, a subscribe is 2 asparagus stalks, and a share is 3 celery stalks. Why is the share worth the most? Because YouTube monetization works that way. They like views, not subs. Back to the topic. I want to save your house. Now back to the real topic. Tetrabit stomachs are important in breaking down and, you know, digesting cellulose properly. It's very difficult to break cellulose down, so having those 4 stomachs is really, really useful.
It's no use!
By the way, for all of you biology nerds out there, when I'm talking about animals with 4-chambered stomachs, I am referring to ruminants. Just, you know, if you're interested in that kind of thing, you can go research it. You can go research it a little more. They're called ruminants, and go ahead with that. So, it's kind of gross, but ruminants usually have to spit out partially digested food, chew on it, and then eat it again. I'm so sorry, Claire. I researched this like 4 months ago and it's still It's just so gross. So the small intestine derives nutrients from everything else. Everything else. It just does that thing in most animals, really. So the large intestine does the same thing as you would imagine the large intestine to do. It poops. Holy Archon Angel of poop right there. Just add it in me. This is super oversimplified, okay? It's TLDR. I read the article, you didn't. You're watching this video on it. I'll make a full, in-depth explanation if you comment touch about eating and if we get enough comments. How much is enough comments? I'll decide when I want to make a video about it. So that's how herbivores eat plants, or more specifically, really digest cellulose. But, plants, if you strip away the cellulose, they're just as easy to digest as meat. So, why don't they eat meat? Why don't herbivores eat meat? Well, who's to say they don't? In the last video, I showed you how the line between carnivores and omnivores is really, really blurry. This is getting appropriate. So, really the thing is that blurred line seems to be the same for herbivores. Of course, we learned in first and second grade science that herbivores are animals that eat primarily or only plants. Herbivores eat plants, but did we ever really learn about the repercussions of an herbie eating meat? I call them herbies, carnies, and omnis because I don't think people really like listening to herbivore, carnivore, and omnivore every 10 seconds. Back to the topic of second grade science, I sure as heck didn't learn those repercussions. I just learned, oh yeah, they can't digest it, son. Go do good on the test. But, that could also have something with me being in 6th grade. So, hippopotamuses, I believe that is the correct one, will often eat meat. Not depicted, of course, because that is gruesome. It will get me demonetized, and I don't even have monetization yet, so getting demonetized is just that much more. Insulting. I've already gotten demonetized on one video, please no more. So, what are the consequences? Well, one of the biggest risks is disease. You see, carnivores have adapted their immune systems to be, immune to many meat-spread diseases like salmonella. Herbivores don't. They don't eat meat, so there's no reason for them to be immune to these meat-spread diseases. So, as a result, eating meat can, actually be really, really deadly. Just because salmonella is a thing. Other diseases like anthrax will also happen much more easily to herbivores than in omnivores and especially carnivores. Bacteria live in the guts of every single animal, helping in digestion. In herbivores, these bacteria are adapted to break down plant matter, not meat. This doesn't stop them from eating the flesh, but it's not nutritious. And, meat does very little to keep the herbivore running. It's not the herbivore digestive system specifically. Yes, that does play a major role. It's not adapted, but especially the gut bacteria, or as the scientists call it, the microbiome, in the guts of the herbivores can't really digest meat. Sure, carrion could very well be an emergency meal. Heck, many biologists have spotted deer, and especially hippopotamuses, eating meat. Sometimes not even as an emergency meal, just eating it. 'Cause they can. But the thing is, the vegetarians of the world can't get along on just meat. That's the fact of nature. I mentioned that hippos are often seen eating meat, like 2 times already. Well, hippos also have a higher mortality rate when anthrax occurs, and they still can't digest the meat that they eat. That's why most other herbivores don't even bother. So, to quickly recap, for an herbivore, eating meat could be a last resort meal. However, the meat cannot be properly digested by the herbivore, partially due to the microbiome in the gut. The resulting malnutrition can lead to premature death. Herbivores have not adapted innate immunity to diseases like salmonella and anthrax, which makes them more likely to die if they do contract them. However, this doesn't stop every herbivore, as hippos are often seen eating meat. However, plants are required to keep the creature functioning properly. Since eating only meat can't help an herbivore, and diseases that are caught from consuming meat have a higher mortality rate in said herbivores, these herbivores usually don't bother. With that out of the way, I'm Jay Hans from Hans Productions, and I'm going to be signing off. You can't watch this video's bloopers because there are none because I'm perfect. And again, carnivores video in the iCard, factorial playlist in the iCard. Just enjoy.
Hey guys, recording a quick end card. Just wanted to address a few things before I sign out. First of all, Timmy deleted his channel. Second of all, I'm deleting this type of content. No more long lecture videos, I promise. Next vid's up in 2 weeks. See ya, bye.